Like, so with Rock Band and Rock Band 2, we've been looking for like an authentic sort of 70s arena rock feel.
We have started to build in our minds this rock band world, which is a world of itself. The whole thing kind of lives and breathes rock and roll. You know, there's no disco in this world.
We looked at a lot of things from the early 60s for like the psychedelic posters, like kind of looking for the inspiration that rock and roll got back when rock and roll was like actually rock and roll.
There's been many times where we've thrown around MTV as a descriptor. I mean, that really harkens back to when we were younger and MTV, like in music television, just kicked off in the first place. I think there's sort of a mashup aesthetic in the game. You know, there might be some psychedelia or early punk or early metal stuff, but the way that the team would put it together, light it, color it, it suddenly became modern, even though what's in each of those elements is actually kind of classic.
Well, we have a very democratic design process here. I mean, obviously we have designers here whose sole job is to think about this 100%, but it's interesting to draw people in from engineering, writing, art, audio, web, to kind of like bounce ideas off them.
Before I got hired here, I was a freelance illustrator and I was a traditional television animator, so I did a lot of just 2D animation. So like a lot of that kind of trippy, psychedelic, branch growing kind of stuff just came from my background in animation mixed with the people here.
I try and give the artists as much creative freedom as I can. The Ultimate outfits really were a fun way to stereotype in a way, but also like reinvent.
A lot of these outfits will start out looking at reference and thinking of things that are iconic to each genre. In the case of the Ultimate Rock Shop, we ended up choosing, say for the male, a nudie suit, which was popular back in the 50s, 60s. And then it gets brought into a concept painting right here. And then there are orthos, which are very precise front, back, side view line drawings, which are sent out to the outsourcers.
In order for us to make all the assets that we have to make for these games, because they're really chock full of stuff, you know, we'd have to have another building of artists. You know, our art team's very large, we just don't have enough room. So instruments are outsourced. A certain amount of clothing is outsourced. So as these art assets are being created, we'll use WebEx to direct the meetings and to take a look at how it's taking shape. A lot of Ryan's art teams will be in here with me and we'll be directing it as it goes. And then there's also, I'd like to see some more binding at the bottom of the fretboard as well.
Okay. Awesome, man. I'm going to save the drawers that we've done.
We treat things very artfully and we're making special games. We all are from slightly different backgrounds, musically or otherwise, and so we wanted the game to have our versions of rock and roll events or people or situations or clothes. It's like the rock and roll landscape through our eyes.